Oh, happy Friday. Welcome into episode 49 of Happy Medium. Back at you today with the video. I don't know what it is, but the last like three interviews I've tried to do, I try to record my Zooms and they haven't been working. So when I do it by myself, it works normal. When I don't do it by myself, it kind of messes up. So that's why there haven't been that many video recordings lately, but I always, capture everything audio wise. So, yeah, coming back at you guys this week. Happy Friday. Like I said, episode 49. We're one away from 50. One episode away from 50. Kind of a big milestone, I think, so far. And hope to do a lot more. But yeah, hope you all have had a good week plus since I last um talked with you guys. If you last heard me, my interview episode with Tony Gill, head of content at CHGO, dropped last Tuesday. I believe we recorded that together. So really good interview. Really like talk with him. So if you haven't listened to my latest episode with Tony, you should go do that. Like I said, really fun and enjoyable episode. But yeah, said happy Friday. Hope you all have had a good week plus since my last episode. And back at it this week. Had some stuff kind of pop up a little bit earlier in the week. I was supposed to do an interview like Tuesday or something this week. But my schedule kind of flip-flopped a little bit with some stuff. So wasn't able to secure that this week like I was originally anticipating, but nonetheless, got some time today on this Friday morning, so why not film an episode? I don't know if you can see. I'm actually using my little mic today for the first time. Um, I hope it makes a difference on the video recordings. I don't think it would make too much of a difference audio wise because audio I kind of just upload my little phone recording right here. But yeah, I've I've had this for maybe I don't even know like a couple months or something, but I've never really used it so far because I wasn't really sure if it was like hooked up right to my computer and its system and all that stuff. So I really don't even know if this is gonna make a big difference with me talking into it now, but I figured I could at least try and see what's up with this. So yeah, we can get into it. So yeah, it's been no, I guess there hasn't really been a ton happening in the world since my last episode. I actually was on DePaul's campus yesterday for a little bit, for like I don't even know, like 3 hours probably. Wasn't too fancy. Just actually went to watch the men's soccer team play their season opener. I got a friend on the team, and then I got another friend on the coaching staff now. So went to go watch them. Hoped they could win, and got to catch up with them too after the game. Sadly, DePaul did not win. They were up 3-1 in the second half, but then they allowed two goals um, late in the second half, so it ended up being uh, a tie at 3-3, I think. So not a win, but not a loss either. That's one of those not a lot of sports you can tie in, but soccer's one of them. So yep, that was what I did yesterday, or at least recently. I actually ran into one of the DePaul men's basketball players yesterday too. After after the game, I was walking down. I forgot what street it was, like Kenmore, I think, by the library over there. If you know where the Lincoln Park campus is and how it's kind of set up and everything. I was I was walking by the library on Kenmore, just walking around the campus a little bit before I was gonna head back home, and I saw someone like super tall down the street walking toward me. I'm like, I think that's Kalan Maker, who's one of the incoming transfers to the men's basketball team. And as he got closer to me, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's definitely him. So stopped, come on for a second, told him I was a big fan, got a selfie with them. So I was, I kind of wish it was one of those like side by side pics with him because if you know me, if you've seen me, I'm like 5'3", 5'4" ish, and he's like 7'1" or something. So I really wish I could have got that side by side pic with like like a 22-inch height difference. That would have been comical. But yeah, nonetheless, had some fun at DePaul yesterday. Always a great time being back at the old stomping grounds, the old alma mater, seeing people. I don't really go up there too often nowadays. I don't live really close to that area, so whenever I do go up there, it's usually for a specific reason. So, yeah, always a fun time being back at DePaul. A lot of memories and people and everything. So, yeah, um, you know, got to watch a soccer game and run into a 7 foot man. Almost a 2 foot height difference there. But yeah. Anyway, I want to keep this hopefully kind of short. I'm not trying to make this super long today. But I do actually want to talk about the Bears a little bit. It is Friday, August 22nd today. The Bears do play their last preseason game tonight at I don't know what time it is, like 6 or 7, something like that, I'm sure. At Kansas City, at the Chiefs. Um, I think believe Coach Ben Johnson said the starters are going to play a little bit. I don't know if that means one series, two series. I think last game against Buffalo, they played a couple series or so, and they look good. Thankfully, it's better than looking bad. I'm not going to put too much stock into it. It is a preseason game after all. Whether they're good, they're bad, they're not really playing against like specific like defenses and coverages and that kind of thing. So I feel like there's not a lot of stock, or you really can't put a lot of stock into it, whether it's good, bad, indifferent. Just gotta wait till the actual games come around and see how they perform there. But I'd still take a good performance over a bad performance any day of the week. So it was good to see the offense have a long drive or touchdown drive to start the game on last Sunday night. I think they started off inside the 10-yard line and made it all the way down for a touchdown. So good to see Caleb Williams make good throws. Hopefully that continues tonight. I think the Chiefs are going to play their starters against the Bears offense. So it'll be, I don't want to say it's a good test. I don't think it really is a test per se, but it's going to be good to see the Bears' true number one offense go up against another team's number one defense, even if it is just for a series or two. Just kind of get more of those like live game kind of feels and reps and settings and everything like that. I'm gonna be watching the left tackle position specifically on the offensive line. It's been a little bit of a revolving door in training camp with the incumbent Braxton Jones, Ozzie Trapilla, who was the Bears' second round pick this year, Karana Magachi, who was a mid round pick last year, and then Theo Benedict, I believe he was a draft pick or undrafted free agent this offseason, if I'm not mistaken. So, kind of a four-man competition. The old saying that if you have four guys at one position, then you don't have any. So, hopefully, someone can play well, whether it is Jones or Trapilla or if Amagachi can kind of force his way in there. He kind of seems to be the odd man out right now, or at least the least likely to win that job. But I guess we'll kind of see how it goes tonight, and then they're still gonna have about a couple weeks, I think, till week one against Minnesota on that Monday. What's it, September 8th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in September. So, yeah, this is kind of the last, really, you could say the last like big chance for the players competing to impress the Ben Johnson and the rest of the coaching staff to give them an idea of who gives the team the best, not the best chance to win, but the best option at the position going into week one. And maybe it is going to be one of those cases where it's kind of a revolving door all season. You would hope it's not. You hope that one guy can take the position and just stick with it and run with it for 17 weeks. But in football, injuries happen, inconsistent play happens, bad play happens. So maybe, they are going to need to rotate multiple guys in that left tackle spot week 1, week 5, week 16, whatever it may be. Maybe multiple guys in one game. You again, like I said, you would hope it's not the case. In that scenario, you want to see one guy kind of grab the position and just run with it for the full season to not only help your quarterback, but the continuity of and the chemistry of that offensive line together. Just have five guys, it's like stuck and set together for the full season instead of constantly kind of rotating guys in and out at one position, especially left tackle, which is arguably the most important position on that offensive line. Protect that quarterback's blind side. It's been well documented that Caleb Williams took the most amount of sacks in the league last year for a rookie. I believe it was like 68 or something. I think so. That's that goes without saying that's way too many sacks. So GM Ryan Poles did a pretty good job of fortifying most of the offensive line this offseason with Joe Thuney coming in at left guard, Jude Dahlman at center, Jonah Jackson at right guard, and then Darnell Wright, who is still on the team at right tackle. But then, like I said, that leaves that left tackle spot kind of up in the air a little bit. So, you can hope that the best man wins the job, whether it's Jones, who was the starter the last couple of years, Trapillo, who you can hope kind of flashes that potential that the Bears saw in him, that they drafted him pretty high in the second round in general. So, I just want someone to come in and be able to protect the blind side of Caleb Williams. I don't really care who it is. It could be you, me, some guy off the street. I don't care. Just someone that can come in to that left tackle spot and solidify it for not just this year, but years to come. That's what you would hope is your young quarterback can continue to grow, which is going to help the offense in general. More time for the quarterback to throw, more time in the pocket, more time for his receivers to get open, more time to make throws, score, gain yards and score touchdowns. That's the name of football and how it works. So yeah, that's really what I'm gonna be kind of watching on. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna put too much stock into preseason week 3 football, but um, you know, the games. I think Coach Johnson may have said this. How the preseason games don't count, but they matter. So, like, yeah, win loss ties not gonna matter in the overall record, but guys still can impress the coaching staff, their teammates, and solidify their own play and their own spot on the roster with their performance in these types of games, whether it's week 1, 2, 3, training camp, etc. So, yeah, if Patrick Mahomes throws a touchdown or two against the Bears' #1 defense, I won't really care because that's the best player in football in my opinion. But yeah, still some things to keep an eye on. I wouldn't say look forward to, but definitely something or some things to keep an eye on tonight if you're really going to tune into the Bears because it's a preseason, it's week 3. You just want week 1 to get here, I'm sure. I know I do. But if you're a sicko, kind of like me, and you want to watch the preseason, maybe not in depth, but you want to tune into it, then left tackle is really the spot I would recommend to tune in for. That's what I'm going to be looking at tonight. Yeah, kind of my Bears thoughts for now. Again, it's not too in depth. It's preseason. I'm not going to put a lot of stock into it. If they win, if they lose, if they tie, that, that doesn't matter. Shouldn't matter. But yeah, that's kind of football here in Chicago right now is probably the number one kind of topic or story that's going on with the Cubs free fall a little bit, right? They had a division lead in the NL Central in July, I believe, and then now Milwaukee's just overtaken them. I know this past week the Cubs and Brewers played a 5-game set at Wrigley, but there was a doubleheader mixed in there too, so that's why it was the unusual 5-game series and not 3 or just 4. But um, yeah, Cubs. Surprisingly, in my opinion, they actually won the series. I kind of thought the Brewers were going to sweep all 5 or win 4 out of 5 with the way that they had been playing lately. But hey, credit to the Cubs. They actually won 3 games out of 5 and not one or not, or 0 like I was expecting them to. But still not. It's like it's one of those scenarios where yeah, they won, they beat the team that they have to beat, but they're still like they're 7 games back now, which is going to be hard to come back from. But also, they won, but it's like the way in which they won still isn't like super convincing to me that they can truly do anything great in the playoffs. I'm gonna assume the Cubs are gonna be a wild card team in the NL. I think the Brewers are gonna win the Central. I actually predicted the Brewers to win the Central before, I think on opening day when I made my little predictions for MLB on Twitter or something. And I know a lot of people kind of, I don't want to say laughed at me, but I'm I'm sure people would have had some skepticism about, not just me, but people in general before the year picking the Brewers over the Cubs to win the Central because the Brewers had lost some players and the Cubs had, gained players like Kyle Tucker. And then when it was April and May, the Cubs got off to a really hot start as they kind of normally do. It seems like most years. But the Brewers kind of fought and clawed their way back. They won what was it, 14 in a row or something that ended last week. To kind of get to where they are now with a 7-game lead in the NL Central. And my kind of philosophy for that was I'm not gonna pick the Cubs to win the Central until they show me that they can. I'm gonna keep picking the Brewers to win the NL Central because that's pretty much what they do every year. And it seems like that predicament may be holding up this year again for me. So yeah, it's not like the Cubs are a bad team. They're just kind of flawed. I think I may have like I think I did a little trade deadline thoughts on them if I'm not mistaken a couple of weeks ago or maybe a month ago, but about how they needed starting pitching and that the offense should be relatively fine. But now it's like the pitching's pretty good and the offense just isn't playing well at all. And when you're not hitting in baseball and you're playing against a team like Milwaukee, who's hot in every facet of their own game, then it's gonna be hard for you to win. So again, I was impressed that the Cubs won 3 out of 5 against a team that seemingly couldn't lose for 2 weeks, but their pitching really carried them in those 3 games. It was not their offense at all. And even was yesterday they scored 1 run or something. So they have not been hitting. They're gonna need to fix that. Kyle Tucker has kind of been a big um reason or factor for this elongated slump, you could say. It was revealed he's playing with a fracture in his hand, I believe, and he was playing through it, which for him makes sense because one, he wants to play, but two, he's in a in a contract year, so he's not going to want to sit out and with what could be a potentially severe injury and then cost himself money, right? Maybe. So it makes sense for Tucker's side that he would want to play through that injury, even if he's not playing well. And even if you are playing well as a baseball player in a 6 month marathon of a season, guys are going to have peaks and valleys. Now, it's a bad time to have a valley right now, given that the Cubs are 7 games back and they were winning this, or they were in front of the Brewers at one point, and now the Brewers came back to beat them by 7 games, and it might be even worse than that coming up. So, uh, you know, it's just unfortunate. It's bad timing for the Cubs, and it kind of seems like everything that has gone wrong, or everything that kind of can go wrong, has gone wrong for them recently with Suzuki and PCA and Tucker. Um, you know, guys like Matt Shaw, who you weren't really going to expect a lot from, have kind of has kind of been the best hitter since the All-Star break on the Cubs. And not that that's a bad thing, but you know, you need guys like Carl Armstrong, Tucker, Suzuki, Swanson, etc., to play like the guys that they should be playing like, and that's what's gonna, or at least that's what will ultimately help the Cubs if they can get it turned around. If not, then they're gonna be in the same position that they are now, and probably make the playoffs, but likely going home early in October, which I'm sure them and their fans weren't expecting if you were to ask, or if you were to have asked them for their October predictions a month or two ago. So, yeah, there's what, 5 weeks left in the MLB season. It's flown by. I feel like opening day was just yesterday for me, but yeah, we're almost 5 months down with baseball. I'm sad because I'm a baseball lover. It's my favorite sport. Um, yeah, football's around the corner. College basketball will be around the corner in a couple months. So, um, my apologies. Looks like someone's, or sounds like someone's doing some yard work um, around my house. But I don't know if you can hear that. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to touch on today. Some Bears thoughts, some Cubs thoughts a little bit. I know they have a West Coast trip starting for the next week. I think starting today, they're in Anaheim against the Angels. So the Cubs should be able to win some games coming up. But if the Brewers win too, then that's not really going to help them. So, yeah, I know the Sox play the Twins this weekend at the rate on the South Side. So, um, got some got some good baseball coming up. Got some football coming up. Exciting things are happening in Chi-Town always. So, yeah, like I said, I didn't want to keep this too long today. I don't even know how long this is, maybe 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, whatever. But yeah, hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy the games that are gonna be on. And thanks for listening again, or thanks for watching. I don't know, like I said, I don't know what's up with my Zoom connection with my interviews. That's why I've been doing only audio, because I'll log on my Zoom with someone, it'll be like this, it'll be the picture will be fine. And then like as soon as I hit record with someone, it just turns to no, just crap. So I don't know what it is. I might have to try out some other platforms or whatever. But yeah, thanks for listening to me this week. I will be back next week. I'm hoping to do an interview next week. I I know things can change with me and whoever I have on. So I'm not going to guarantee it. I'm hoping to do an interview next week. I'm going to do an episode regardless. But um, yeah, hoping to do an interview next week or the week after. So I will see you guys when I see you next week. Um, have a great rest of your weekend and week plus till I talk to y'all again. And yeah, take care.